G'day folks, Jameel here, and in this week's lesson we're going to go through one of the most fundamental formulas around marketing, advertising and brand building, which is called the trust formula. Okay, so in this lesson we're going to understand what this trust formula is, how it applies to us within society, and how we can apply this to ourselves within the world of tech sales. Now, if you don't know me, this is the first time you've come across me, my name is Jameel Raymond. I'm the founder of Tech Sales Academy. I'm a 2x top 1% account executive. I was Cisco's #1 mid-market seller last year. And now I'm on a mission to teach technology sales to non-tech people like myself the way that I wish I was when I started my career over 10 years ago. So let's make learning about tech sales fun. So when we talk about brand, it's very important to understand brand. It's a fundamental of marketing. It's a fundamental of who we are in our own personalities. It's a fundamental to our perceptions in the world. Our brands are our unique identities. What makes us us? And in the corporate world, what makes your organization uniquely valuable in market to serve customers? Okay. And if you need to succeed in corporate, not just in a corporate brand, but a personal brand, you need to have a very unique brand that people understand you for uniquely you, and needs to have a positive association. So organizations and customers want to associate with you and what your services or your solutions are. So for example, if you are in tech sales, you might want to aspire to get to one of the big tech companies because you like what they're doing, you like their values, you associate yourself and resonate with who they are, and you want to join that. And especially, it's quite useful to be a part of a big tech brand, such as your Microsofts, your Apples and whatnot, because of, again, of that collective association. Organizations, customers, tech decision makers, they want to associate with these highly perceived brands because there's a lot more psychological safety in going, well, they're so successful, then they'll be able to look after me as well. And that's really helpful as a salesperson to have that strong tech brand. It gets you a foot in the door where other small organizations might not have that luxury, who have to work harder to get the attention of customers. Now, it's really important to understand the difference between your company brand and your personal brand, okay? A good company brand will get you a foot in the door, but a good personal brand as an account executive, the relationship manager, the face of the brand to your customers, that's what keeps the doors open to create partnerships, sales, whatever you like, okay? So we as the people persons in tech, we need to be aware of the brand that we have. We need to create one and reinforce that brand as someone that is trustworthy, competent, and personable. Again, people buy from people. So we do need to reinforce this by having high standards, high value, high integrity, because that's who people want to deal with, right? So this trust formula that we're talking about, I learned this from legendary marketer Seth Godin. I think it was in the book, The Purple Cow. And this is the fundamental formula that's used by advertisers, marketers all over the world. It's an absolute fundamental. It's based on human psychology. And that trust formula is trust equals frequency plus familiarity. Okay, so how that works is that our brands, our perceptions, the perceptions in our mind, and that information comes through our mind through pattern recognition, repetition, and association. Okay, so for example, you might see me right now and you go, who's this guy, for the first time? But I'm showing up, I'm going, hey, I'm here to help you learn about tech. And you kind of go, okay, fair enough. That's the impression that you get of me, okay? So you have a fundamental familiarity of what I'm doing and why. Now, the more often that you see me, these behaviors of who I am, showing up, adding value, the more often that I show up, the more that your brain is taking in this information and creating these associations, where to a point where I might become the tech sales guy in your brain, okay? And once I have developed enough value by showing up frequently, right, then that becomes the brand. My brand of being a tech sales educator goes into your brain through repetition over time. And if that is something that is valuable to you and you think I have something that I can solve your problem for, then the positive association of brand, trustworthy, helpful, valuable, results in the exchange of goods and services, i.e. my courses, coaching, whatever it is, okay? And this is very similar to what we do, not with just my products, but everywhere. All your influencers, everyone that you love on social media, all advertising and marketing is built on this. It is just being familiar to people and you do this repetition over and over again until it becomes familiar to the frequency, and then eventually the scales will tip into your favor in an exchange if you want that, okay? Now, the psychology behind this is one of the most fundamental psychology frameworks that we have in the human mind, which is called Pavlovian or classical conditioning. And Mr. Pavlov here, if you've done psychology as a unit in high school, you probably would have remembered this. Old mate Pavlov over here, he conditioned his dog to think food was coming, and it would, by ringing a bell and then feeding it. So he would again do the association, ring the bell, give the reward, and the dog would eat. To a point where the Pavlov could ring the bell and the dog was in anticipation of the food starting to drool. Okay, because it goes, that association, that psychological awareness, that pattern recognition was ingrained and programmed into the dog's brain. Okay, so then now when you're ringing a bell of a brand, for example, you might have an immediate association, right? It could be Microsoft, it could be Google, whatever it might be. Think of your own favorite brands and what is the first things that you come up with and how do they get there to begin, okay? And you might think, hey, I'm not dumb enough as a dog, but guess what? It works with humans, right? It is a fundamental aspect of the human mind, of the animal mind, of us searching for predators, looking for patterns, looking for, you know, little glitches or anomalies to keep us safe, okay? So advertisers, marketers, they understand this. This is a fundamental of sales psychology, which is the explanation of why we have the same just ads and placements and billboards everywhere, right? They are just banging on the same ads over and over. You might have seen this on, you know, traditional TV, or why you wonder why you've got the same ads just, you know, on your feed all the time. It is, again, association. It is repetition. It is about slowly but surely just battering the, you know, the point home of your brand and who you are and why you are until it gets conditioned into your mind. Okay, so that's why we have the repetitive ads. And for example, billboards, they're deliberately simple. You've got, you know, 5 seconds to arrest attention. What information do you need that's essential for your success as a brand, as a product, to get into the customer's mind by association? Hence why we've got billboards that are painfully simple, right? You've only got a couple of bits of data to take in. So again, an absolute fundamental of sales psychology here. So how do we use this for ourselves as trusted technology advisors, which is the pinnacle of being a great technology seller in the people side of technology? Well, if you want to be a trusted and valuable brand, you've got to show up to your customers and do things that make you trustworthy and valuable by showing up frequently and adding value with every interaction, okay? So that's how you go from who the hell is this guy to, hey, I really trust this person, I just want to deal with them from now on. So that is why you have to show up to your customers often, why you have to make phone calls and not emails, so you have higher quality presence in the brand development of what you're doing with your customers, okay? So you show up, no matter what happens, you show up, you add value. Is it, you know, newsletters? Is it content? Is it solving a problem? But you want to be valuable. You want to be as useful as you can to develop that brand over time. And you'll see the customer go from maybe cold and indifferent all the way up to warm and trustworthy. Okay, and this has been part of my success for years. I might not be the most technical person to have all the information, but I'm very good at finding the information and solving the problem. Right? And that's one of the unique skill sets and one of the things we should lean into as the, you know, the people side of technology. When we don't have the technical skill, we don't have the what you knows, we have the who you knows. Okay, that's very different and very important to have as the people person in tech. Okay. So as an exercise for yourself, think about your personal brand, okay? You cannot be the company person, okay? That is not how you succeed. That is not how you excel in technology sales or any sales role, because people buy from people. You need to be a good people person in technology, and that starts with the brand and understanding how you are perceived in your customers' minds, okay? So think about your personal brand. What do you think your brand is to customers? Have you done anything to stick out from the norm? Because think about it, you know, how many vendors are there that customers, you know, IT operations people sell, you know, IT people, your CIOs, your CTOs, you know, they're being bombarded with generic company emails, phone calls, no personality people, just, you know, a bunch of NPCs that are trying to get the deal. So how do you stick out? How do you be unique? How do you add that personality? How do you be a genuine human being on the other side that they want to deal with? Okay. And if you have this brand, why do you think you have it? What has it taken for you to get there? It's really important that you're intentional about the way that you engage customers to craft this brand over time. And you may have seen this. We've all got politics around here. Have you done any brand damage in the past? Have you had to, put your tail between your legs? Have you been in an embarrassing situation? Have you annoyed a customer? Whatever it is. What has been the repercussions of that? And then finally, if you haven't thought about your brand before, what brand do you want? What do you want to be recognized for? What do you want to be associated with? And here, what I teach at Tech Sales Academy is to become that trusted technology advisor, right? Where negotiations become conversations, right? Vendors become partners, and then salespeople become trusted technology advisors, okay? That is what we aim for here by being the great people person in tech. Something to think about. So that's it for this week's lesson. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want more tech sales tips, I've got over 30 free lessons of tips just like this in the Tech Sales Mentorship in my free tech sales community. Come check it out. It's a lot of fun, very informative, focusing on the people side of tech, teaching tech sales to non-tech people just like myself. So if you want to check that out, come meet me inside my community, school.com/Tech Sales Academy. Like, subscribe for the algo gods, and I'll see you next week. Ciao for now.